Hi, welcome back to Tony's tutorial. Today we are going to discuss a small topic in the front of the thigh anatomy portion, that is the adductor canal. We have two important portions to study in the front of the thigh. One is the femoral triangle, which we discussed already. You can check back for the videos in my channel itself. And the second topic is the adductor canal. Adductor canal. Okay, what do you mean by adductor canal? The adductor canal is also known by two other names. One is Subsartorial canal. It is also known by the name Subsartorial canal and also known by the name Hunter's canal. Hunter's canal. Hunter's canal. Okay. It is named adductor canal because it is seen in the adductor compartment of the thigh as well as along with the adductor longus and adductor magnus muscle. It is seen subsartorial because it's just below the sartorius muscle, and Hunter's canal because there was a surgeon known as John Hunter in the 17th century. He did a surgery for popliteal aneurysm by blocking the artery through the adductor canal, and that was a landmark in the vascular surgery history, and thus this canal is also known as the Hunter's canal. So adductor canal is known as subsartorial canal, also known as the Hunter's canal. Okay, now what do you mean by adductor canal? You define it like this. Define it like this. It is an intramuscular space. It is an intramuscular space in the middle of thigh. Exactly speaking, 1/3 of the medial thigh. It is an intramuscular space seen. It is an intramuscular space seen in the middle 1/3 of the thigh. So is it clear? So adductor canal is an intramuscular space which is seen. Where is it located? It's located in the medial side of the thigh, in the front of the thigh itself. Exactly speaking, medial 1/3 of the middle of the thigh region. So in the middle of the thigh region, 1/3 of medial 1/3, this adductor canal is located. It is approximately about 15 centimeter long. It is approximately about 15 centimeter long. Now, let us see the extension of the canal. Extension. We had studied there is a triangle in the thigh region, that is the femoral triangle. So this canal extends from the apex of the femoral canal to the opening in adductor magnus muscle. So immediately below the adductor longus muscle, you have the adductor magnus muscle, and this canal exists from the apex of the femoral canal to the adductor magnus muscle, opening in the adductor magnus muscle. So if I draw the thigh region like this, you have your sartorius muscle like this. Let us imagine our sartorius muscle passing like this. Okay, here you have the inguinal ligament, and here you have our femoral triangle. Okay, and now this triangle, this one, here you have the adductor longus muscle. Adductor longus muscle. Immediately below that you have the adductor magnus muscle. So this triangle runs from the apex of the adductor longus muscle or apex of the femoral triangle. It starts from the apex of the femoral triangle up to an opening in the adductor magnus muscle. So this is that canal. It is seen below the sartorius muscle. You cannot view it directly. It is seen below the sartorius muscle. So this is that canal. It is a canal. It is an intramuscular space seen 15 centimeter, seen from the apex of the femoral triangle to the opening in adductor magnus, muscle, to the tendinous opening in adductor magnus muscle. Okay, now what is its shape? The shape of the canal, the shape it is triangular in cross section, See, it is triangular in cross section, not in the exactly when we view it is just a canal, but if we are taking a cross section of it, we see it as triangular. Let us just draw it. Let us just see how it is. See, look here. We have our femur over here. Here you have our vastus lateralis muscle, vastus medialis muscle. Here you have our adductor longus muscle. Here you have your sartorius muscle. And here you have some plexus of nerves, which we'll study soon. Some plexus of nerves, okay? Some plexus of nerves, right? Some plexus of nerves, yes. And like this. Some nerve plexus, yes. And this region is known as the adductor canal. It is triangular in cross section. This is the cross sectional view of that part, okay? Let it be the anterior. This is the medial side, this is the lateral, and this is the posterior, okay? Now let us see its relationships, boundaries. This is the vastus medialis, this is adductor longus, this is sartorius. Okay, now when we see the boundary of the adductor canal, we have this boundary which is known as the anterolateral boundary that is formed by vastus medialis muscle. Anterolateral boundary is made by the vastus medialis muscle. Then you have the posteromedial boundary that is formed by adductor longus above and adductor magnus below. That forms the posteromedial boundary. So that means the upper part here, this is the sartorius, this is the femoral canal apex. Here you have the adductor longus, and just below that you have the adductor magnus. So it is we will relate like this. Posteromedial boundary. Above it is formed by the adductor longus, and below it is formed by the adductor magnus muscle. Clear? Am I making you confused? Just recollect the things. Then the roof of it. The roof is made up of a fibrous membrane connecting this boundary to this boundary. What is this boundary? Can you name it? This is the anterolateral boundary, this is the posteromedial boundary. So this roof is made up of a fibrous membrane that connects the anterolateral boundary to the posteromedial boundary, okay? And it is overlapped by, what is this structure? That is a sartorius muscle, and it is overlapped by the sartorius muscle. It is made by a fibrous membrane connecting anteromedial to posterolateral border. Clear? And it is overlapped by the sartorius muscle, Clear? Now I drew here something like this. This is actually known by the name subsartorial plexus. These are just nerve fibers or nerves known as the subsartorial plexus. These are plexus of nerves. These are plexus of nerves which are seen in that fibrous membrane. So they will be interlinked in the fibrous membrane. They will be seen like a mesh network inside the fibrous membrane. That network of nerves is known as subsartorial plexus of nerve. That plexus of nerves is known by the name subsartorial plexus of nerves. And they supplies the deep fascia. Can anyone tell what is the other name of deep fascia? That is fascia lata. It supplies the deep fascia or the fascia lata and the skin underlying Okay. Now let us just summarize the boundary. We first saw the definition, we saw the extension, we saw the shape, we saw the boundaries. The boundaries: anterolateral border formed by vastus medialis, posteromedial by the adductor longus above and adductor magnus below, and the roof is formed by the sartorius muscle, and exactly speaking, it is formed by the fibrous membrane connecting the anteromedial and posteromedial border, anterolateral and posteromedial border, and it is overlapped by the sartorius muscle. There is a unique structure known as subsartorial plexus. plexus seen inside the fibrous roof, which supplies the deep fascia and the skin underlying. Okay, now let us proceed. Let us proceed. Now, the most important thing, the contents of adductor canal. The contents of adductor canal. What were the contents of femoral triangle? What were the contents of femoral triangle? Just recollect it by the time. Now, let us see the contents of adductor canal. The first one would be femoral artery. First one is the femoral artery. Second one is femoral vein. Second one is femoral vein. Third one is saphenous nerve. Third one is saphenous nerve. Saphenous nerve. Fourth one is nerve to vastus medialis. Nerve to vastus medialis. And fifth one is the branches of two divisions of obturator nerve. Obturator nerve. Same. Let us just look in the contents. One is the femoral artery. The first content is femoral artery. The second content is femoral vein. Third content is saphenous nerve. Fourth content is nerve to vastus medialis muscle. And the last content is two branches or two divisions of the branches of obturator nerve. Now let us see how each of this is related to our nerve, our adductor canal. Let us have our cross-sectional view here itself. Here is our femur like this. Okay. Now here we have our here we have our vastus medialis muscle. Here you have our the posteromedial border, and here you have the sartorius and the fibers of nerves. Okay. Now, if we want to see the contents, the first one it is femoral artery. The first one it is femoral artery. See the diagram. These are the contents of adductor canal, which is the femoral artery, femoral nerve, femoral vein, saphenous nerve, and nerve to vastus medialis. You can see that the adductor canal is enveloping it like a tube or tunnel. And see the diagram in relation to the muscles of the thigh region, in relation to the femoral triangle. And this is also known as, I told you, the subsartorial canal. Imagine this is the femoral artery. Okay. Now in this adductor canal, this femoral artery gives one muscular branch. It gives another muscular branch, two muscular branches, and then another branch that is known as the descending genicular artery. So vascular branch, two muscular branch, and one descending genicular artery. Why it is giving muscular branch? Because we know that the femoral nerve is a nerve that is supplying the muscles of the front of the thigh. So it gives muscular branches to those muscles, and it gives descending genicular artery when it is about to go out of the adductor canal. Okay. Now, it starts at the apex of the femoral triangle. Femoral artery enters the adductor canal at the apex of the femoral triangle and gives off two branches on the course, that is femoral muscular arteries, two muscular arteries, and then a descending genicular artery. The descending genicular artery again divides itself into one saphenous artery, saphenous artery, and another one muscular artery. The descending genicular artery is again divided into saphenous artery and muscular artery. So the first content is femoral artery, and you have to study its relationship. Femoral artery enters the canal at the apex of the femoral triangle, and then it gives off muscular branches inside the canal to the muscles, and it gives a descending genicular artery which leaves the canal by dividing itself into an saphenous artery and a muscular artery again. that is the relationship of femoral artery. Femoral artery continues after leaving the canal through the adductor magnus muscle, opening of the adductor magnus muscle. It continues as popliteal artery. So it continues as popliteal artery. The second content is femoral vein. That is actually the continuation of popliteal nerve vein. That is actually the continuation of popliteal vein. Okay. Now, if we evaluate it, we will see it like this. Okay, we'll see it like this. We'll see it like this. That means it is the continuation of popliteal vein. It lies posterior to femoral artery in the upper part and lateral to, this is the lateral part, and lateral to the femoral artery in the lower part. So that it's a relationship. The popliteal, the femoral vein is the continuation of popliteal vein and upward continuation of popliteal vein, and it is seen and at the upper part posterior to the femoral artery and at the lower part lateral to the femoral artery. That's all about the femoral vein. The third thing is nerve to vastus medialis. Nerve to vastus medialis is seen like this, which is seen lateral to the femoral artery. The nerve to vastus medialis is seen lateral to the femoral artery. It enters the adductor canal at the upper part. It supplies the vastus medialis at the upper part of the canal. More correctly, this is the nerve to vastus medialis. Just as a nerve fiber, we see it like this. Then that supplies the vastus medialis muscle. It enters the upper part of the canal. It enters at the upper part of the canal. Now you have the saphenous nerve. That is passing like this. That passes like this. The saphenous nerve, it passes like this. It passes from lateral to medial to the femoral artery. Saphenous nerve passes lateral to medial to femoral artery in the adductor canal. This is the saphenous nerve. This is the saphenous saphenous nerve that is starting from the as lateral to the femoral artery, then it moves medial to the femoral artery. This is the medial side, this is the lateral side. That's all about the saphenous nerve. So all these are studied in relation to the femoral artery. So first study what is the location of femoral artery. Now you can relate it to femoral vein, you can relate it to the nerve to vastus medialis, you can relate it to the saphenous nerve. And the last one is two divisions of obturator nerve. Two divisions of obturator nerve. That is the anterior and posterior division of the obturator nerve. That is the anterior and posterior division of the obturator nerve. Two division of the obturator nerve. Obturator nerve. Obturator nerve. Two divisions of the obturator nerve. That is the anterior division and posterior division. Anterior division and posterior division of the obturator nerve. Anterior division and posterior division of the obturator nerve. Anterior division is seen in relation to adductor longus muscle. Anterior division is seen in relation to adductor longus. Exactly speaking, it emerges at the lower border of the adductor longus muscle. Anterior division. Posterior division is arising at the in relation to anterior surface of adductor magnus muscle. Posterior division is arising in relation to anterior division of the adductor magnus muscle. Now the nerve to obturator. Obturator nerves two divisions are anterior division and posterior division. Anterior division is seen in relation to adductor longus muscle. Posterior division is seen in relation to adductor magnus muscle. Anterior division arises at the upper surface, lower part of the lower border of the adductor longus, whereas posterior division arises at the anterior surface of adductor magnus. What does this nerves do? The anterior division supplies the femoral artery. Anterior division supplies the femoral artery. Posterior division supplies the knee joint. Posterior division supplies the knee joint. Anterior division supplies the femoral artery and posterior division supplies the knee joint. Now let us study once again what are the contents of femoral artery. That is the femoral artery, contents of adductor canal. That is the femoral artery which is seen starting from the apex of the femoral canal, femoral triangle, and it is dividing into muscular branches, two muscular branch, one descending genicular branch which again divides into saphenous artery and muscular branch. Now you have the femoral vein which is the upward continuation of the popliteal vein, and it is seen posterior to the femoral artery in the upper part and lateral to the femoral artery in the lower part. Now you have the saphenous nerve which is starting from the upwards. It runs like lateral to medial to the femoral artery. Then you have the vastus medialis. It is seen lateral to the femoral artery and it supplies the vastus medialis muscle at the upper part of the adductor canal. Then you have the obturator nerve, anterior and posterior division. Anterior division supplies the adductor longus, posterior division supplies anterior division is seen in the adductor longus, exactly speaking lower border of the adductor longus. Posterior division is seen in relation to adductor magnus, anterior surface, and anterior division supplies femoral artery, posterior division supplies the knee joint. That is how you have to study the contents of femoral adductor canal, where you study the femoral artery, you place the femoral artery, draw the diagram of femoral artery. Then everything you just relate to it and study. All the other contents are related to the femoral artery. So if you draw in this figure, we have the femoral artery over here. We will have the femoral artery in the center, and and the femoral vein will be here. Femoral vein will be here. The saphenous nerve is seen here. The saphenous nerve is seen here, and the obturator nerve's branches will be seen here. Anterior and posterior branches of obturator nerve will be seen here. So that is how you can study in a cross-sectional view, that is the branches of the obturator nerve is seen there. So that's all about the adductor canal. Let us summarize. Adductor canal is an intramuscular space in the middle thigh, middle 1/3 of the thigh, exactly speaking approximately 15 centimeter, extends from the apex of the femoral triangle into the tendinous opening in the adductor magnus muscle. Its shape is triangular in cross section. It has an anteromedial wall, anterolateral wall, posteromedial wall, and a roof which is overlapped by the sartorius muscle. There is a plexus of nerves known as the subsartorial plexus of nerve. Now you have to study the contents, which is the femoral artery. Always study femoral artery and place it in your diagram. Then you relate to the other structures. Don't by heart it. Just draw in your diagram femoral artery and think about the other structures. Vastus medialis nerve to vastus medialis is lateral to the femoral artery. You place it over there. The saphenous nerve is traveling from lateral to medial. You draw an oblique line. That's it. You draw the femoral vein, how it is seen in the lower part, it is seen laterally, in the upper part it is seen posteriorly. Just place it like that. Then the nerve to obturator, the two divisions, anterior division and posterior division, you have to just draw it like that. That's all about the adductor canal. Stay tuned to my channel, and if you like the video, please hit the like button and kindly subscribe to my channel.